Yellows, yellows, everybody, and welcome to the first call that we are doing in 2023. So before anything else, Happy New Year, Happy New You. Quite a few of y'all already joined a few minutes before we said hello. We checked on the temperature. It's cold in most places, summer storms in Johannesburg, but there is also summer where Jennifer is. And we had a decree for Happy New Year and Happy New You. And that decree was a love decree. So we have 6 love decrees. And one of them is the I love you decree. I love you 2023. And this is what you'd have gotten in your emails. You would have seen it up on our groups. You would have seen it up on Facebook. You would have seen it up everywhere on social media as well. And that was for everybody. But y'all today on the call, we are going to do our own unique second love decree for 2023. So I love you 2023 is for all of us. And this one, which has the single addition of a word, which has the addition of a single word, and you're going to say this with me, so everybody, please make sure that you're hydrated. Quickly have a few sips of water, and so will I. Officially throwing open our call with our individual Happy New Year decree is, I love you, my 2023. The number for 2023 is 7. So we're going to say it 7 times together. And we're going to say it for ourselves, and we are going to say it for everybody in our circle, which is, I love you, my 2023. 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 I love you, my 2023, I love you, my 2023. And make sure that you're integrating it into your body with a few more sips of water. How did it make you feel to say it? Was there any reaction at all? I technically said it 8 times because when I was introducing you, the decree to you, I'd already said it once, and then I said it 7 more times. Did it make you feel anything? Did it make you get a sense of ownership in the year? And Kulpreet says, my shivering went away. Fantastic. So something, absolutely, Ananya, empowered and excited. The inflow of heat is really what I was looking for. Because when you have the I love you, my 2023, it means now this year is yours. Christine says, I feel more awake and eyes open. And Satvinder says, amazing, a big smile. And by the way, wow, Satvinder is named Wow Satvinder because in that particular package, we were putting a decree before our names, and which is why she is there as Wow Satvinder. Christine, how is Loki? Have I remembered his name correctly? Anishi says excitement. Heidi says makes me smile. Karen says all smiles. Julie says hopeful. Barbara says started smiling, a lot of inner acceptance, joy. Olga is smiling. Kulpreet says my hands got warmer too. And Christine says, she confirms, yes. How is Loki? How is he doing? And I remember this from another call as well. So Loki he's not a parrot. He's a particular breed that looks like a parrot, Concura. And Christine's Loki is a rescue. And well, he is not very friendly. I mean, he knows what it's like to be abandoned and cast aside. And he also tends to be a little rude when she's on a call, like he wants her attention all the time. But we had this one call where he was absolutely quiet. He was just pecking at her, what was it, ring, bracelet? I remember that so well, Christina. I remember the picture that you put up in the group as well. So adorable, so amazing. And Loki is doing well, she says, already enjoying the call with us. Fantastic. In fact, if I remember correctly, Christine, that was the time you were also using the love decree for Loki, and you had used it for a few days, and then you came on the call, and then we saw this difference. So everybody's saying, hi, Loki. Hi, Loki. And Kailash says, feeling light and smiling. Vandana says, heart full of joy. And Christina says, he is a Jendaya Kunyor. Got it. I am going to keep this in mind, but if I don't, just come back and remind me again. He responds really well to the decree. Who doesn't, Christine? Who doesn't? So I love you, my 2023. And with that, we have officially opened our first call of the year. I also want to mention that where I am in the Indian Northern Hemisphere, it is Friday, it is full moon, it is Mercury retrograde, Uranus retrograde, and Mars retrograde. It is a most joyous January. Both Mercury and Uranus are mental, nervous, and electrical. They affect our heads and our minds. Uranus is like the elder brother vibration of Mercury. And Mercury is about communication, right? Which is why this is the time in his retrograde we have all kinds of breakdowns. Breakdowns in the mediums of communication, breakdowns in communication, delays, traffic jams. So in Uranus retrograde that happens as well, but it's not as unsettling as Mercury retrograde is, because Uranus is the older brother energy. So he's a little more sorted, he's a little more stable, he's a little more grounded. Even in numerology, Uranus is number 4, which means he's come first. First as in before Mercury, who's a number 5. Basically, what this means is that there are 2 parts of you on this call. Mercury retrograde is the time where our inner child, the kid, is absolutely alive and kicking, screaming for attention, letting us know what all happened in our childhood and what needs to be further healed in our childhood, because Mercury is a very young energy. It's a very young, prankster, mischievous, naughty energy. And like all mischievous, naughty kids, all of these delays, traffic jams, gadget breakdowns, my computer going off for a second when Anita mentioned it's 1 degree where she is, all of these are pranks to him. He's just giggling, chortling, chuckling when these things happen, because every naughty kid enjoys slapstick, right? Every naughty kid enjoys it when somebody else is being made a fool of, or a clown, or somebody's trying to sit and somebody else takes their chair away. That's the Mercury retrograde energy. Lots more on this on the call we did last time. And you're going to get that replay as well when you get this replay. But to repeat, 2 parts of you are on this call. One is this kid. Maybe happy kid, maybe smiling kid, maybe excited kid, maybe sad kid, maybe anxious kid. One is the kid. And the other is the older version who made the call to come and then made the call to be here or catch the replay. And you will say, but you said Mars is retrograde as well, along with Uranus and Mercury. Yes, I haven't forgotten Mars. And Mars is the action guy, right? Mars is testosterone, can get very aggressive, can get very passive in a retrograde. So the action orientation of us right now is dependent on not right now, all the time, is always dependent on how we are thinking. And both Mercury and Uranus impact how we are thinking. Uranus might be giving us all kinds of ideas because he is the great awakener. He's also the great shocker. He is also the planet whose decree is, why not? Why not? Why not? Why don't we have wings? Why don't we have more gold? Why don't we have alien kind of sharpness, intelligence, abilities? He is the why not planet. So there will be one part of you that will be very excited about all the possibilities available to us right now. And there's this other part of you that just doesn't want to do much, just wants to play or rest or eat popcorn or ice cream and do its own thing. These two parts of you, the kid part of you and the older part of you, are going to be honored on this call. So this call has two parts to it. There is the child, kid part, and there is the older part. It's also, thank goddess it's Friday, on a number day designated 6. It's 6th January. And 6 is also a Venusian goddess money number. Friday in our Hindu philosophy and religion is Lakshmi Ma Day. It is money day. Therefore, we're going to take a look at both of these parts. The child part, I'm sorry, I said the child part and the older part. One of the ways that our mind functions terrifically is when it is occupied with productive, intelligent questions. Like, if you can ask yourself a certain question, the answer to that question can change your life. If you stay with a question a little bit longer, the answer will guaranteed hold you accountable to new action. I'll explain that. So I had G come up to do a money session. And for G, it was like, I am just getting so tired of working and going to work and I want the money and it is not happening. It was a speedster session, so it was a 10-minute session. So I said, okay, can we sum it up as, I don't want to do the work, but I want to get the money. Said yes, we can sum it up completely like that. Now, I don't want to do the work, but I want to get the money is a child thing, right? Because no child is thinking that I should do any work. I want my popcorn. I want my toy. I want my ice cream. I want to go for a car ride. We're not thinking that we have to do any work. And there is an adult part that is saying, listen, you got to have money because in today's world, money is food, clothing, shelter, money. It is important. So this bit where we summed up the problem in one sentence, I don't want to do, but I want to get. So the question in that became, why don't you want to do? And that one question unlocked a flurry of answers that we completely cleared, sorted, all done. I think in 9 minutes, session was over. I'm going to ask you a set of questions. Don't write them immediately because I'm going to ask you 5 questions. All of them are linked to the other. So I want you to think about it for a moment. If you have your notebook, you can start writing it down in the notebook and then take a couple of minutes and then put it here. Number 1 question. And remember, because it's Friday and it's the 6th and we've got Mercury retrograde and Uranus retrograde and Mars retrograde, we're doing a whole journey on money, money as child and kid, money as older adult self. Number 1 question. What is your childhood money story? Don't use more than 2 sentences to describe it in your notebook. The first 2 sentences that come to you will indicate every other sentence that might come up in your mind. Second question. What is your money story today? Trupti has to leave a little early. Don't worry, Trupti. We will catch you on the call, on the replay. What is your money story today? Again, the first two sentences that come to you will give you an indication of the other 10, 100 sentences that might be following. So take the first two sentences. Third question. Are the stories identical? Fourth question. Is today's money story a rebellion of your childhood money story? Fifth question. Is today's money story a complete pleasing and obedience of your childhood money story? Alison says, story is the same. Struggle to create a new life, build a life. Parents were immigrant, creating new life in a foreign country without any family support. And Pat says, OMG, yes. Repeating the pattern of fear, lack, stress. Excellent. Excellent. And now, because you have an answer, it will hold you accountable to a solution. One solution, of course, because we're on a decree call, we're going to do a set of decrees around this, but it will hold you accountable to this. And it will therefore also show you that things haven't changed at all. That something is either missing or stuck. Heidi says, can you repeat the fifth? The fifth is today's money story a complete pleasing or obedience of the childhood story? Like for Alison and Pat, it is a complete obedience. Like, is it identical is one thing. The last question is, it is identical to the dot on the I and the cross on the T. And while you're answering that, just want to send out a huge Happy New Year, Happy New You to those on the webcast, because you're not able to be on the chat, but so delighted that you're here. Hi, everybody, and welcome in. Carlene says war and poverty, but is the story identical? Is today's story a rebellion of the childhood story? Is today's story an exact obedience to the childhood story? And Kulpit says yes, obedient. Welcome in, Neetu. Vandana says story, same as childhood, always insecure, hard work, on the same coin, different side, obediently following. Deborah says identical, and that is frustrating, on the edge. Ananya says rebellion. We have one rebellion happening in the house, people. Anita says always enough money to pay bills, not enough for fun. My story is obedient to what I learned as a child. So more obedient. Jennifer says obedient, but not exact, very close. So it's identical. Okay, so It's obedient, not identical. Swati says not identical. Swati, is it a rebellion story? Gwen says obedient. Heidi says not identical, not obedient, rebellion. We have some more rebellions in the house. Swati says childhood story, happy and satisfied. Neetu, we've just done an exercise. I'll quickly run you through it so everybody else as well, if you've just joined us. Here's what we're doing. We're answering 5 questions. What was your childhood money story? Now, your childhood money story is actually your family money story. But it becomes your childhood money story because you were a child in what was going on at that time. Siblings have different childhood money stories. My relationship with money is different from my sister's relationship with money because my parents' money story was different at my time of childhood and at her time of childhood. Namrata says, highly scarce, blocked opportunities as childhood, but better now. Good. I'm glad. So somewhere obedience is happening and struggle to rebel is happening. Would that be correct, Namrata? Like Carlene says, obedience and struggle, rebellion. Swati says, childhood story, happy and satisfied. So is there a complete rebellion right now? Your money story today is not happy and satisfactory. Deborah says, I've taken a step down, I think. And Julie says, always a miracle to get by. So it's the obedience. Neetu says, was rebellion, now obedient and learned with time. So rebellion means that you will struggle to do the opposite. So if you had scarcity, you will spend your whole life rebelling against scarcity, trying to make more and more and more money. If you had a lot of money, you might, in your rebellion, make sure that you're constantly attracting bills or spending your money or giving away your money. So rebellion is almost the exact opposite. Lakshmi says childhood was difficulty, shame. Is it the same today? Same story, obedient. What is your name? Olga says story is not the same, but obedient to childhood story, feeding the lack of money and not money worthy. Absolutely. So the exact situation may not play out, but the experience is playing out. Like for Alison, the exact situation is playing out. New country, trying to have a new life, trying to build something new for yourself, not having enough support. So Lakshmi says, it's a bit better now, even though it's identical. Lakshmi says the other way. It's identical, but it's a bit better now. Christine says, I observe I have journeyed through rebellion and obedience with my money story. Now I have a different story with one struggle, self-sabotage, that is perhaps rooted in the worth part of childhood. So I'm going to digress for a moment and I'm going to tell you all about self-sabotage. Self-sabotage is a direct response to a parent who doesn't want you to have more or better or different from the parent. I'm going to come to this because the reason why I have used words like obedience and rebellion, I'm going to come to that. Neetu says, no struggling, but would love to have more without asking from anyone. The universe is great. Everything always works for me. Fantastic. Welcome in, Rita. And Namrata says, rebellion for me. Julie says, my mother's money story stayed the same from the time we were young. My father left her and divorced her. She never changed the story yet. She is 90, just getting by, a miracle. This is so amazing. And what Julie means by amazing is that you're putting it together. You're putting the story together. And wow, Satvinder says, rebellion as childhood was negative with money and recent time positive. Excellent. Christine B says, wow, yes, exactly. Anita says, not having enough money makes me fit in with my friends and co-workers, but I don't like it at a deeper level. Got it? Carlene says satisfaction level is moving up to 7 now. And Heidi says childhood, always enough, got everything I wanted from my grandparents. Today I have enough money, can live a good life, but I want much more. Fantastic. Susan says rebellion, but I think unconsciously obedient. And I think you summed up what goes on in most rebellions, Susan. And Rita says, always in a tight situation, now no more. Everything is being taken care by the universe. And there is a key to that word that Rita has used, and that has to do with the energy of 2023. And that is also going to be part of our brand new fresh decrees. But first of all, I want us to understand 3 things about children. Number 1, all children are parrots. Everything we know, we learned, we picked up. Number 2, all children love stories. They love them. One of the biggest bonding activities between a parent and child is the act of reading a bedtime story before they go to sleep. Stories are very important to children. They're important to us because we always have a child in us. I shouldn't say child, we always have children. We also have a teenager, we have an adolescent, we have a young adult, we have older adult. All of them are still part of who we are today. Number 3, every child wants to be obedient and simultaneously rebel. Every child. There is no child who can stay obedient forever. There is no child who can stay rebellious forever. Because both of these programs of obedience and rebellion are constantly playing out in our lives. Give me 1 second. This only means we need to say cheers, Happy New Year, and talk up some water. Obedience and rebellion. Somewhere we will find today's story in here. For some of us, it's changing, it's a little better, but we would like more. This obedience and rebellion gives rise to a very big conflict in us. The desire to stay obedient, the desire to be rebellious. It's conflicting, right? The story being, like, let me use some words that have shown up here. Self-worth, not money worthy, lack of money, getting by a miracle, difficulty, shame, blocked opportunities, highly scarce, scarcity. What happens when this conflict is not resolved is that every time you rebel and you do well, you will punish yourself. Because you see, the other part of you, the obedient part of you, says, you can't do this, you can't do this, you're not being obedient. You will find a way to punish you. When we have a parent who doesn't want us to have more, different, or new than what the parent knows, our tendency to rebel will be higher, because this is the controlling parent. And every child, the first parent a child wants to break away from is the controlling parent. And the controlling parent can be tyrannical, abusive, God forbid, but it happens. So that child moves into rebellion. But what is the other part? One root is in obedience, one root is in rebellion. So every time you move ahead and do well, you will guaranteed sabotage. You will find a way to feel punished. You will find a way to feel like you don't have the right to do this. You will find a way to say, I cannot make it work no matter how hard I try. We want to resolve this conflict. And the way to resolve this conflict, number 1, is we're going to do one of the root chakra exercises we did in our last Mercury Retrograde work. Because Uranus and Mercury being mental planets, everything shoots up into the head. leaving very little energy in our roots. So grounding at this time is very important. Complete the sentence. I am rooted in. Absolutely, Miriam. Whenever I have extra money, something always comes up for me to spend it. Therefore, I can never keep a saving. And is this your childhood money story? Your parents couldn't save. Because all childhood money stories are the family money story. And Smriti says rebellion. How has that worked for you, Smriti? Have you had a price to pay? And Julie says, could it be that I have become more rebellious and the unconscious part of me wants to be obedient as an extra layer? Guaranteed. Whether we do it consciously, unconsciously, knowingly, unknowingly, we always have this conflict. The obedience and the rebellion. Most Asian children are more conscious of the obedience. Non-Asian children are a little less conscious of the obedience, but it is still there. Nobody can escape this. I am rooted in love, says Gwen. I am rooted in confusion. Kulpreet says, whenever I ask was not given, so since then I feel guilty asking, right? So not only were you not given, you were shamed for asking, which is why when you ask right now, there is shame, there is pressure, there is guilt. Satvinder says, I'm rooted in the relationship with my husband. Jennifer says, I'm rooted in lack. Heidi says, I'm rooted in peace. Ananya says, I'm rooted in fulfillment. Christine says, I'm rooted in truth. Answer the next one. I am anchored in. Gulpreet says, I'm rooted in shame. It's all going to change today, my love. Everything. If we have a good root, it is going to upgrade. If we have a unhappy root, it is going to get healthier. The difference between rooting and anchoring is that you can have good roots, but your roots may not anchor. You need both the anchorage as well as the rooting to have your perfect grounding. I am anchored in fear of the future. Ananya says, I'm anchored in my strength. Carlin says, rebellion is always punished. I'm rooted in courage. I'm rooted in faith. Pat says, could never ask from anyone. It's all going to change today, Pat. At least the start of that change is going to take place today. Jennifer says, I'm anchored in harmony. I'm anchored in love, says Christine. I'm anchored in love. Gurpreet says, I'm anchored in fear. Olga says, I'm rooted in serving everybody. What are you anchored in, Olga? Gwen says, I'm anchored in love. Thank you, Gwen. Vandana says, my root is jammed. Excellent awareness. I'm anchored in love, says Satvinder. Ankita says, I'm anchored in control. Atul says, I'm anchored in indecisiveness. Always good to have a masculine energy in our calls. Thank you for being here, Atul. Julie says, I'm anchored in choppy water. Namrata says, I'm anchored in faith. Olga says, I am anchored in peace. Deborah says, rooted in difficulties, anchored in faith. Kailash says, I'm anchored in safety. And here's the last one. I am centered in. And by the way, your conflict could be so massive that you could be rooted in one thing, anchored in one thing, and centered in something completely different. Absolutely normal, not to worry, my darlings. Like Ananya says, I'm centered in my belief in myself. Kathy says, I'm not sensing either. You mean rooting and anchoring? Take a look at center. While Satvinder says, I'm centered in the universe. Ankita says, I'm centered in chaos. And you can see, Ankita, how this means you have to be rooted in control, because only control gives you a sense of sanity in chaos. Christine says, I'm centered in me. What is Loki centered in, Christine? Deborah says, I don't feel centered. So I am centered in unsettledness. You'll still have a word, Deborah. Give me the word. Julie says, I'm centered in surrender. Carlene says, I'm centered in self-worth. Namrata says, I'm centered in anger, self-sabotage, chaos. And Namrata, check, is there behaviors of control? and tightness and rigidity and inflexibility of plans and how things should be, because that is the only way a child can make sense of reality. If a child has had absolute chaos as part of the childhood story, which would then become the childhood money story, the child has no choice but to try and be absolutely stiff. Yogita says, centered in balance. Lakshmi says, my debt keeps increasing even though I make an effort to clear it. Somehow it happens that I will have extra money, try and clear it, but then I can't say no, and then again it continues. I'm attached to them so much. So what are you centered in, Lakshmi? Are you centered in debt? Is your childhood money story that you were a burden, unwanted, an extra child? Jennifer says, still looking for centered, nothing coming up. So I'm centered in nothing. It's fine. It's fine. Kulpreet says, I'm centered in peace. Vandana says, anchored in air and wild storm. Kailash says, I'm centered in being present. Heidi says, I'm centered in calmness. Loki says, Loki is centered in self-expression. For sure, for sure. Anita says, I'm centered in love. Atul says, I'm centered in confidence. Lakshmi says, Lakshmi, you have repeated the same thing, but I'm anchored in faith. What are you centered in, Lakshmi? Kathy says, I'm centered in stress. Ananya says, I was an unwanted child. So take a look, Ananya, at how that is playing out in your life. When says Loki is so good at self-expression. Totally. Olga says, I am centered in keeping everybody happy. Deborah says, confusion. You found it. Super. Pat says, I'm centered in anxiety. Lakshmi says, I'm centered in calmness. Katie says, I'm rooted in family, anchored in nothing. I'm centered in chaos. And Katie, is this also what's happening in your family? They're completely chaotic. Nobody's listening to anybody. Nobody's understanding anybody. Nobody's getting anybody. Barbara says, having to leave. We'll catch you on the replay, Barbara. Thank you so much for being here for as long as you could. Ananya says, I feel I'm unwanted in many aspects of life. And that will come from the childhood story of being unwanted. And therefore, then money will also become unwanted. Because one thing is everything. Everything is one thing. Shah says, anchored in freedom, rooted in family, centered in dignity. Julie says, burden, unwanted, not supposed to be here. So what are you centered in, Julie? Katie says, just my husband and I. So is there chaos between y'all? Kulpreet says, I am rooted in shame, I am anchored in fear, and I am centered in peace. Absolutely fine. It tells us what kind of fragmentations, confusions, chaos, conflicts is going through, and how all of this will be playing a role in our money story. It is impossible to have fear, anxiety, chaos, feel unwanted, and then do a brilliant job with money. Impossible. We're going to change all of this. Is everybody ready? Like Julie says, centered in undeserving. Is everybody ready? Okay. Now, one of the things that is going to be surprising in the sentence decree I am about to give you is the inclusion of words you would not think are decrees, but they are. First, I want to do a balance. And the balance is, you know how we fall on one side of the story. I am rooted in shame, I'm anchored in fear, I'm centered in peace. Okay, that's one thing is there, there's one piece is happening. Let me take let me take another one. Okay, let me just make up one. I am rooted in shame, I am anchored in chaos, I am centered in unworthiness. Now, for such a mind, obviously, you're only going to be trying to rebel, right? Because these are not things we want to be obedient to. We don't want to be obedient to the fear. We don't want to be obedient to the chaos, the shame, the guilt, the unworthiness. So there's constantly going to be a sense of rebellion, which means you're fighting with you. And every time you fight with you, because there is this inner conflict, you are not calm, collected, centered, at peace or ease, which is what is required for money energies. Every time you have a story that is so debilitating, that is so terrifying, where you're falling on the wrong side of the hole. The wrong side of the hole is in the hole. Like, this is a hole, right? You're falling in the hole. How many of us have had a lifetime of getting out of one hole and then falling in another hole? Gurpreet says, me. You get out of one, and before you know it, you're in the next one. You get out of one, and before you know it, you're in the next one. Because rebellion and back to obedience. What you are centered in, what you are anchored in, what you are rooted in, you will keep going into that hole. You will keep going into these three factions in a whole. So what we want first is some balance. We want some balance where the mind is able to also take a look at the opposite. Negativities are always high in a Mercury retrograde. Like when we get impatient in a Mercury retrograde, we get cribby, complainy, whiny. Like we get so negative. It's not that delays don't happen in other retrogrades, but in a Mercury retrograde, one, it's a little extra, and our reaction is invariably negative. Things not going our way just makes us get so angsty. It makes us riled up. We don't just get agitated and restless, we get annoyed, irritated, frustrated, and helpless. Like there is a element of negativity in the reactions that take place in a Mercury retrograde. So what we want is to be able to have the balance. Because everybody is not having a bad time every time. Some moments are good, some days are good. Some days you are not in the hole. Some days you are out of the hole. You want to be able to sustain and maintain that balance. And balance is key in rooting, grounding, anchoring, centering. Balance is everything, people. Balance is another name for healing. Only in balance can you have healthy boundaries, for example. Only in balance can you give and receive equally. Only in balance is your estrogen and your testosterone working in harmony. For this balance, we are going to use the power of no right now. The decrees are probably the only work in the world where we use words like don't want, don't have, no. Today's power of no is not. N-O-T. And here's how we're going to do it. Give me one word that is the opposite of the whole. Whatever that word is for you. Let us say that word is, because love works for everything, let us say the word is love. So, Gurpreet, I think you mentioned shame and guilt. I think guilt for sure. For example, you are going to say love, not guilt. Try it. You're going to need a few moments because sometimes we are so caught up in the whole story, whole as in that black hole. We're so caught up in that description that when somebody asks you what is the opposite of that, you're not very sure. What is the opposite of that? Like Julie says, the opposite is gold. So gold, not desperation. Because getting by on miracles means you every day is an exercise in desperation. And Ananya says, love, not unwanted. Just one time, just say it one time, have a sip of water, see how you're feeling. Love, not ignored. Vibrant, not gloomy. Awesome, not lack. Prosperity, not poverty. Love, not rejected. And Ananya says, feeling whole from within. Isn't it amazing? Why are you feeling whole from within, Ananya? We've just said 3 words, and we've said it only one time. Haven't even given you the whole exercise of doing it 11 times. How are you feeling whole within so quickly? I'm so sorry, Ananya. She says, I'm crying now, and I'm sorry that, not that you're crying, but that you have to cry through this, because crying is so good. By the way, tears are another word for healing. Crying releases overwhelm, anxiety, worries, grief and sorrow, of course. Kulpreet says, big sign of relief. Ananya says, it's like a missing piece was placed back. You're absolutely right, Ananya. But take your time, my girl. When you feel a little better, then respond. I think you're getting it. The answer lies in what I said a few sentences earlier. Why are you feeling so good immediately? Okay, I am taking it for granted that everybody's feeling so good. But why are you feeling better so quickly? How are you feeling better so quickly? What did we just do? Courage, not fear. Ease, not struggle. Love, not rejection. Love, not anger. Kulpreet says we fill the hole. Very good. How did we fill the hole? Love, not avoidance. Flows, not stuckness. Flows, not blockages. Flows, not resistance. Flows, not reluctance. Flows, not jammed. Flows, not damned. Julie says wanting to fill the hole. Jennifer says happy, not nothing. Worthy, not shame. Love. Julie, change that completely. No, you can't say that, my love. What have you just said? You have said you don't want the money. Anita says a feather flew in. I think the angels are also blessing. I guarantee you, my darling, if you're working with the decrees, actually anything but decrees, I work with the decrees, so I'm going to say for the decrees, for sure. You are blessed, you are safe, you are protected, and there will always be a hand on your head. And let me tell you why as well, because all of us have only one life purpose, only one, and our life purpose is not our job. Our life purpose is to grow. What is growth? From child to adolescent, to teenager, to young adult, to older adult, to wiser and younger adult. Our life purpose is to grow, and all healing sets us on the path to growing. So we'll always be blessed and taken care of. Flows, not delays. Love, not poverty. Safe, not insecure. Full, not empty. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the reason why this is making you feel so much better, my darling, has to do with what I told you was another word for healing. Balance. Now your left brain and your right brain is functioning. Your Mercury and your Uranus is working in hand. It's not just Mercury derailing you. Uranus is also stepping in. When you can take a look at the good with the bad, the light with the dark, the black with the white, the day with the night. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. You will always be okay. A lot of our sufferings, troubles, problems happen because we are unable to sustain both. We're always either falling on this side, my life is 100% awesome, or we're falling on the other side, my life is 0%, my life is zero. Healed, not bruised. Flows, not damned. Damned, creating a big release in shoulders and breath, says Gwen. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Nishi. Thank you so much for saying that, my girl. This bit, this balance, I want you to have this balance before I give you This next, all the decrees are extraordinary, but this particular one, including some of the decrees we've used on the previous call replays, and you'll have the entire set when you get today's call replay as well. Have a listen, my darlings. All of these calls are part of spiritual wealth, which is key in 2023. Spiritual wealth will get us the physical wealth, will get us the physical health. And the spiritual wealth, where does spiritual wealth come from? Which is the only place we can get spiritual wealth from? And while you answer that, I'm going to read out some more that have come. Happy, not sad. Free, not caged. Respect, not disrespect. So Kulpreet say respected, not disrespected. Ananya says from within. What part within? Wanted, not unwanted. From the heart, within the heart. Tell me a little more. From the decrees, Neetu. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Because I'm so happy you said from the decrees. But the answer, and the answer was given, I think, two people used this word today. One was Rita, and I think the other was Wow Satvinder. Within inner self, with inner work, Kulpreet says self-love, not selfish. Beautiful. Source is source. Yes, the universe. That within part is also the universe. And by the way, this within part and what we've been rooted and grounded in, whether it was in the whole or out of the whole, all is the universe. Everything from the universe. And now, because I can't wait anymore, I can't hold back anymore, I just got to give it to you. You're going to say this 3 times and you're going to tell me what happens to your spine, to your shoulders, to your face, and to your belly. You're going to tell me what happens to all parts of you. And here is the decree with which we are going to hold hands with our little girls and little boys and bring them out of that hole into integration with the older self, at which point we will do older money work. Here it is. The universe, please say after me, the universe has my back. Two more times. The universe has my back. The universe has my back. Drink water. How are you doing? Ananya says lighter. Christine says breathing deeper already. Jennifer says sitting upright now, electrified. I love it. Electricity being both. More Uranus than Mercury, but both. And Sakina says happiest healed. The universe has my back. You'll see these posters. The poster says the universe has your back. The decree is the universe has my back. And Anita says, wow, I felt empowered, like I was standing with my head up high. Isn't this extraordinary? Wow, Satvinder says, lovely smile, connected oneness. Gwen says, big yawns, face tingling. Deborah says, calmer. Nishi says, safe. Julie says, so calm. Kulpreet says, big yawn, whole spine shivered, little pain in middle chest. Carlene says, connected. Yes. Universe, connected, truth, authenticity, self-love. These are just some of the words for 2023. And we were building up to this in December's calls. Shah says, ear is itching, stomach is not feeling good, pukish. Shah, you must have, in gentle sips, 2 glasses of water, please. And in between you not holding the glass of water, please hold your index finger. Kailash says, breathing deeper and more peaceful. Neeti says, loads of love. Olga says, feel taller, free, body feels lighter. Ananya's yawning. Pat says, stood up straight, hands clenched, smiling and saying, I hope so. Pat, this little bit of doubt will also leave. Heidi says, more straightened up, shoulders relaxed, deep breathing. Pooja says, I missed the decree. Oi vey! The universe has my back. There is another decree we did before this, and we'll probably get to it a little later in the second part of our call, which has to do with the older self. But right now, we're going to be holding hands. And Gwen says, Handsome and Pearl are telling me it's food time, and I'm assuming they are your kitties. And Rita says, tinkling in the back. I'm tinkling, okay, tingling in the back. Let it tingle, my girl. Tingle, 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 shiver, straighten, lengthen, smile, breathe better. And Yogita says, feeling blessed. Atul says, walking straight, spine upright. How extraordinary is this, right? So here's the thing that also happens to the child. Anytime you have a childhood story, is it the child's fault? Is it ever the child's fault? Is it ever the child's fault that there wasn't enough money, or enough food, or enough love, or enough attention, or enough support, or enough shelter, or enough clothing? Is it ever the child's fault? No, never, says Kulpreet. Absolutely, never. And yet, the child will live like it's the child's fault. There is nobody amongst us who has not tried to save a family member or family members or the whole family. There is not a single one amongst us, and by amongst us, I don't just mean us on the call, I mean all of us in the world who has not wanted a family member or family members or the whole family to change. Second, can a child ever sort out the parents' problems? Is it even the child's job? And yet, for those of you all especially who are living with family, aren't you trying to do it today as well? That's true, Deborah. Julie, totally were told it was. Deborah says, often made to feel it is. Yes, often made to feel it is, because children are the easiest to dump on. Because children have no barriers. Children have no fences. We learn that as we grow older, but children have none. And there's always a power dynamic between a taller, authoritative figure and a smaller, defenseless child. Children are the easiest to manipulate, easiest to lie to, easiest to play control games with, easiest to control, easiest to blame, easiest to dump on. Every story you have going on right now that is putting you in the hole is a story where you have gotten dumped on, that has been put on you. And in your obedience, in your loyalty to the family, you want to change it. In your rebellion, you couldn't care less. You just want your own life. You just want your own wings. You just want to fly where you want to fly. You want to go where you want to go. Do what you want to do. And for this rebellion, for this obedience, for this conflict, for this lack of integrity, because integrity means integration. One part of you is like this, one part of you is like this, one part of you is like that. One part is rooted here, one part is anchored there, one part is centered here. There is no integrity. Integrity also means everything flowing together in the same direction. This is what we want. So I'm going to give you the next one. And you're going to use the words that you have used when you wrote your money story, when you wrote certain words in the rooting, anchoring, and centering. Good words, I will give you the decree for that, but the words that were not good words. And this is what you're going to say. The universe, repeat with me, the universe takes away my guilt. The universe takes away my shame. Whatever was the word, the universe takes away my blame. The universe takes away my poverty. The universe takes away my shortages. The universe takes away my lack. The universe takes away my. Please confirm for me, my lovelies, that I am audible. Thank you, Christine. What if Gwen and Sakina will reconnect or find another way to start listening and hearing the call? Fantastic. And Kulpreet says, feeling beautiful. Katie says, have to leave now. Katie, thank you so much for being here for as long as you could. We will catch you on the replay. And Julie says, the universe takes away my undeservingness. Go ahead, my lovelies. Say 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just say it once. See what happens. I'm giving you 1.5 minutes. Kulpreet is already so light, bright body, filling up with gold light. And Joanne says, the universe takes away my insecurities. And see what's happening. See what's happening when you say takes away my. The universe takes away my. Gwen, the universe takes away my problems. The universe takes away my struggles. The universe takes away my issues. The universe takes away my stuckness. The universe takes away my blockages. The universe takes away my ill health. The universe takes away my jammed, damned walls. The universe takes away my indebtedness. The universe takes away my debt. The universe takes away my poverty. The universe takes away my starvation. The universe takes away my famine. The universe takes away my drought. And Deborah says, I have doubt. The universe will help. I have tried for a long time. Universe always helps, Deborah. If you get very fixated on a result, then you have not listened to the universe. And when you don't listen to somebody, they also stop listening back to you. It is impossible that the universe is not helping. You are on this call. You saw the message. You are being helped. Shivani says the universe takes away all fear. No, Shivani, you have to use the word mind. And you will see the difference. When you say the universe takes away all fear, and then when you say the universe takes away my fears, you will see the difference immediately. You will feel the difference immediately. Joanne says the universe takes away my self-sabotage. Vandana says universe take away all my insecurities. No, the universe. Do not change order of the decrees, please. The universe takes away my scarcity fears. So the universe takes away my scarcities. The universe takes away my fears. Kulpreet says breathing so much better. Julie says the universe takes away my deafness. The universe takes away my loneliness. The universe takes away my tiredness. The universe takes away my... Come on, give me some more. The universe takes away my scoliosis. The universe, oh, Christine, I can feel you straightening up already. I can feel your muscles adjusting so rapidly. The universe takes away my bad health. The universe takes away my unworthiness. The universe takes away my imbalances. The universe takes away my unproductivity. The universe takes away my guilt. The universe takes away my excess baggage. The universe takes away my pain. The universe takes away my procrastination. The universe takes away my lethargy. The universe takes away my doubt and poverty. Deborah, do one at a time. The universe takes away my fibromyalgia. The universe takes away my doubts. The universe takes away my hair fall. The universe takes away my unworthiness. The universe takes away my stuckness. Carlene says, feeling so relaxed. Anita says, the universe takes away my lack of having a partner. The universe takes away chronic infections. The universe takes away my excuses. The universe takes away my osteoarthritis. The universe takes away my pain. The universe takes away my suffering. The universe takes away my judgments. Because every child has been judged for not doing enough, not being enough, basically not being obedient enough. It doesn't matter what you do. There is no such thing as 100% obedience. That child will turn out to be a psychopath 40 years later. The universe takes away my shingles pain. Jennifer, have 2 glasses of water. When we're working with a health project, every time you give a decree, please follow it with 2 glasses of water. The universe takes away my muscle stiffness. And see what's happening. Now, this is a lot the universe is taking away, so you might be very exhausted by the time we finish. Because remember, we have another section. We have a section for the older self, but first, the child needs to be okay. Holding hands across the globe, San Diego, Mumbai, Chandigarh, Pune, Maryland, Johannesburg, Minnesota, Canada. Holding hands with each other. Please say this one together as one. The universe takes away my childhood traumas. Continuing to hold hands across the globe. The universe takes away my childhood judgments. The universe takes away my childhood's pain. The universe takes away my childhood's problems. The universe takes away my unloving childhood. The universe takes away my abusive childhood. And last one, holding hands, the universe takes away my unhappy childhood. Please have as much water as possible. Anand, please use the word the before universe. The decree is the universe takes away my. And Jennifer says, and she asks me to breathe a bit because she's got to go to the kitchen for more water. Done, Jennifer. We will wait for you to return. And Olga says, felt so good and powerful. Anand, please use the word the before universe. No decree format is to be changed. People, Jennifer's gone to the kitchen. Christine is also got to take care of something. Take a 2-minute break. Stretch, walk, go to the washroom, come back. Ananya, you can definitely write. We are holding space for everybody who's gone away for 2 minutes to come back. But definitely you can write like Kailash, Ananya, Lakshmi, Shah, Anand. The universe takes away my childhood programming. The universe takes away my childhood comparisons. The universe takes away my sibling rivalries. The universe takes away my childhood traumas. Lakshmi, please use the word the before universe. And you will see the difference. Say it for yourself. Universe takes away my childhood traumas, and the universe takes away my childhood traumas. Shah says the universe takes away my depression. Anand says the universe takes away my painful childhood. The over here is a mark of respect. So do not address the universe as universe. Address it as the universe or the universe. The universe takes away my childhood grief. The universe takes away my childhood trauma. It does. It will. And while everybody is returning and we start moving over to the older self, before that, please check what is coming to your mind when I ask you the first question, which is, what was your childhood money story? What is coming to your mind now? Ananya says blank canvas. Lakshmi says the universe takes away my fear. Say fears, Lakshmi. Kailash says there was always enough. Shah says lack and limitations. What are you going to do now? You are going to say, what is the opposite of lack and limitation? Anita says it seems like it's hard to remember. Good, because then it's not playing a role. Lakshmi says the universe takes away my anxiety. Make it plural. The universe takes away my anxieties. The universe takes away my debts. Christine says grief and loss came up. Interesting. Use the not here. Love, not grief and loss. Compassion, not grief and loss. Enoughness, not lack and limitation. Love, not grief and loss. Find the balance. In the balance, there is no conflict. Then there is no fragmentation. Then we are in integrity. There is integration. Olga says, yes, feels blank now. Atul says the universe takes away my procrastination. You'll get an answer to this, Atul, because procrastination is a function of too much work, too difficult work, too less support, thinking you have to do it alone. So you will get an answer as to your procrastination. Anand says the universe takes away childhood, less resources, so scarcity. Shah says abundance and not lack. Don't use the word and. That is not the decree. It is abundance, not lack. Fullness, not lack. Malvika says, felt money was outside my sphere of authority. Just saw myself in my childhood garden, feeling my natural world is important and can get me money. Fantastic. Fantastic. And Julie says, what money story? Haha. And Heidi says, magic, not hard work. Or smart work, not hard work. Or delegation, not doing it alone. And Kulpreet also says, true, Julie, fantastic. We are ready to move to the older self. The older self. No child can do work around whatever, $10,000, $50,000, $100,000, $50,000, $1 million. No child can do this work. Although a lot of us show up with the child energy in money workshops. Money has to do with adulthood. The more your kid is running the show, the lesser money there's going to be. And what does the kid running show mean? It means your childhood money story is still playing up. The older self is the self that is able to bring in the money. Not able to sustain because obedience to childhood story, because obedience to family, because obedience to tribe. Let us see what happens when we give this older self decree. And the principle is the same. It's the universe. Now, what do we want? What number shall we go with? $10,000? $50,000? $100,000? What number shall we go with? When you start doing this work, keep your goal realistic, not because the universe can't give you what you ask for, but because the universe knows how much you can handle. If your bank balance is 1 and you're asking for 10,000, the universe knows this child needs to grow up a bit more. It is not going to come. So Kulpreet says 100. Shivani says 1 million. Shivani, do you already have at least $75,000? $50,000, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. Okay, so I've got 2 people who have said 100. I'm going to go with 100,000. You're going to use this on your own, right? Because it's so simple. Can we all quickly agree there is nothing simpler, easier, and faster than the decrees in the world right now? Thank you very much. I always ask for this confirmation. Awesome. We're going to go with $100,000, and here's what you're going to say. Now, please drink water, because there is going to be a reaction to this decree. And that reaction is going to tell you the obedience, rebellion, or the conflict pending from the childhood money story. So we want to pay attention to that. Here's the decree. Ready? Everybody's ready? Older self activated, older self paying attention, older self, all yours towards me. Okay. The decree is the universe, repeat with me, the universe has my $100,000. 2 more times. The universe has, H-A-S, the universe has my $100,000. What is the reaction? Marianne, you're doing the you're doing the previous decree of the universe takes away all my false limiting beliefs and programs that keep me from being truly happy, healthy, and prosperous and blessed, which is, it's lovely, it's a lot. The simplicity of the decrees means we also use the least amount of words possible. Anita says, my throat got hoarse. And Kulpreet says, a voice came given with excitement. Nili is feeling pukey, which means there is fear of money. Deborah says, I just don't know how to get it from the universe, which means you don't trust the universe, but the universe has my trust. Try that, Deborah. Gabrielle says, clearing my throat as well. Ananya says, for the first time, a mountain gives stiffness and heart. Fantastic. Joanne says, got a lump in the throat, which could be fear in the way or grief. And the universe takes away my grief-stricken childhood. The universe takes away my fearful, frightening, scary childhood. Swati says, gurgles in the stomach. There's anxiety there. If at all there is any history of acidity, then there is anger, rage, and unfairness. There has not been acceptance of life situations. So then you cannot digest money because you're not digesting life. And money is life and life is money, and both are us. Heidi says, all my cells feeling alive. Fantastic. Namrata says, lightness. Ananya says, I feel like dancing. Please do. Please do. See, this is a message. It's a money message that says you must dance. Dance means enjoy yourself. Is there fear in enjoying yourself? By the way, this was the other client who came, S. And S went for a party, and S has done a bit of work around dancing in public because she gets very self-conscious because her sister, her brother-in-law, her husband, her son, everybody dances very easily, effortlessly. They are natural on the dance floor, and she goes and she's this stiff robotic doll. So she's done some work previously with the decrees on this. And then she said, this time I went on the dance floor and I danced and I danced and I danced. And I also realized that the bottom part of me is not moving as easily. Like I was dancing, so there was no fear. There was no social anxiety around dancing. And the bottom part is the part of our desires. It's a sacral. When the bottom part gets stiff, we end up suppressing desire. It means we don't have the right to enjoy ourselves. Dancing is about enjoyment. It's about expression. It's about abandoning whatever is going on in your reality in the current moment. And of course, we did some work on that, and now she will let me know when she goes for her next party. Olga says, feeling jumping. Olga, please get up and jump. If you cannot jump because body, health, age, knees, the universe takes away all those limitations, just roll back and forth on the balls and heels of your feet. But if the body is moving, move. Ananya says, 100,000 has my name written all over it. Why not? Joanne says, how often should we say each decree? Right now, we're saying it one time, but we are exploring. So, for example, when we are saying the universe takes away there's one whole list that we've done on today's call. So like that, you will say the universe takes away my anxieties, the universe takes away my hatred, the universe takes away my jealousies, the universe takes away my guilt-ridden past lives. So you will say it once, but you'll say it differently. And you will take a break to honor what you are processing. Because suddenly it's going to feel like a lot, and the next thing you know, you have to rest for the entire day, which is also fine. But be mindful of how much is moving. Honor every shift. And Kulpreet, we will catch you also on the replay. Thank you so much for staying as long as you could. I really appreciate it. Lakshmi says, I'm feeling joyful. Excellent. Now, these are energies for opportunities, money, gifts, treats, savings, support, help, partners. These are very attractive energies. And when you attract, again, right, everything is one thing and one thing is everything. Everything gets attracted. Rita is burping, little heaviness on the head. 2 glasses of water, please. Jennifer says, so much opening up. Shivani says, doorbell rang and Swiggy order delivered. I like, because by now we will be needing to eat something. We will need some physical nourishment. And Malvika says, need work around joy. Keep thinking, what's the point around my creativity, artistic talents? And this, what's the point is either you have faced so many judgments and it's a blind spot how many judgments you have put to yourself, but do the not, do the universe takes away my, and do the universe has. Carleen says, $100,000 is flowing towards me. And Ananya says, Shivani, your $100,000 came. Absolutely, yes to that. Vandana says, feeling joyful, planning to go for a head massage after the call for sure. Please do. Please do. Atul says, test drive scheduled for the XUV 700 that was delayed for many months. Fantastic. Superb. And please know if we are in the same city, we're all coming. Like Shivani's only ordered 1 pizza, so we can't say that to her, but like shamelessly, we will also like pile on. Me too, me, right? That's like the kid, the child. Like, don't leave me out. Don't leave us out. So we'll all be there. And see, Ananya's also said me too. There you are. 1 check. Take a look at your childhood money story. And Gwen says, I feel completely open in receiving my $100,000. Fantastic. Shivani says, as I'm eating Maggi and aloo parantha. Oh, very good. And, okay. So the carby, heavy, comforting food, very good idea to allow yourself to have it today. The universe takes away all my food allergies. The universe takes away all my food intolerances. The universe takes away all my difficulties in enjoying food. Eat a good meal today. And Pooja says, I just received 5,000 rupees in my Paytm. Fantastic. Superb. Atul is in Bangalore. So I think that means most of us are not coming, Atul, but keep us posted. We'd love to hear how it went and if you're taking up the car. Pooja said, I have faith in the universe. Absolutely. Whether or not we believe in the universe, have faith in the universe always has our back. Always. Take a look at the childhood money story as part of our last check for today. And while you're taking a look at that story, I'm going to distract you a little bit because next week on the 12th, Mars goes direct. Barely a week later, Uranus goes direct. Barely a week later, Mercury goes direct. And barely a few days after that, Uranus goes direct. So we've got our work cut out for us. So next week from Monday to Friday, every day from 6 to 6:30, because we will only come, lie down and release and receive. We will take a look at the group and what the group is saying on a Monday. We will choose one thing, and from there we will go for 30 minutes. We will just clear or receive, because we've done both today. Adults can receive better. Children can also receive, but children are not given more than what they can handle. So $100,000 is not child's work. It's child's play, but it is not child's work. So next week, every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 6 to 6:30 p.m. IST, we will get together on the call, this call, similar to this, take a look at what is showing up. You all will be part of a separate Telegram group because our home group right now has other activities going on. You will be part of another Telegram group, and there is a charge to the set of work next week. And normally it would be about 18,000 rupees, $247. But you pay whatever you like. I'm going to give you the links. I'm going to give you the PayPal ID. I'm going to give you the bank account IDs. You pay whatever you can, you like, you want to. No amount is too small. No amount is too big. You decide, you come. I am going to be giving you the Telegram group right away, right now. You can come on straight away. You're going to get the Telegram group link on your call replay as well. Make your payment whenever you can between now to next Friday. We will sit, we will stand, we will walk, we will lie down, and we will do a whole bunch of working with the universe set of decrees. Everything that we have done today has started you off. For some of us, there may be a sense of completion as well, because you've already been doing some work. For a lot of us, what we have done today does need some more work, some more practice, some more getting used to the fact that this is pending or something else is showing up as I am doing this work. You will have the opportunity to express your doubts. You will have the opportunity to share. And of course, because we are doing, the universe has my $100,000, next week will also be about us keeping an eye open for money messages and money opportunities. Let us see what happens. And I have not got, can't think of any childhood story. Kulpreet says, Kulpreet, you're still here? Carlene says, my childhood story is bright and light. Fantastic. I'm taking it for granted that either you're struggling to remember your childhood story, which is good. It's good. You don't want to remember it, which means that hole is covered. You're not going to fall into it. And if you do remember, just listen to the replay. And of course, join the new Telegram group. Make your payment. Show up on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You will also have replays if you can't make it to the call. You will know the topic because we will discuss it on the Telegram group, or 5-10 minutes before 6 p.m. We will say, this is what we're going with. So let us say on Monday, something comes up around deep fears and anxiety. Then on Monday, for 30 minutes, we will just smash through and bust through anxieties and fears. So we will choose one thing, and then from there, we will unravel that entire ball. And whatever hole has shown up for us on Monday, we will clear that. Then on Tuesday, then on Wednesday, then on Thursday, then on Friday. And then we are done. Then we are sorted. Then we are all set for Mercury going direct, Mars going direct, Uranus going direct. And then before you know it, January will be over and fabulous February will be here. On 20th of January, I also have another call coming up. It is a big package program. We're going to do body work. We've just finished a whole bunch of the Flatter Belly series. It's going to be similar to that. We're going to work through February and March in that as well. For now, I am so looking forward to seeing you on Monday. And please have a good meal. Give that child whatever the child wants with gentle firmness, discipline, healthy boundaries. Eat what works for you. Have a great evening, day, afternoon, night, everybody. It has been such a joy, always such a pleasure to be here and chat with you and to hear from you. And I love that everybody puts in, shares, and cares on the chat. Big love, big hug, drink lots of water, be nice to all children. Namaste from India.